Konnichiwa, what's up going on, guys? My name is Jomel.
My name is Jarron,
And we are the Wannabe Boo Podcast, bringing the latest and greatest game and anime news, reviews, and waifus for lifeu. Welcome to episode 73. Right?
73, the big
Yes.
7-3. Yeah, we're correct this time.
The big 7.
Yes.
No, it's not really much of a big 7-3, but
Well, I mean, it's a 7-3.
but this episode, you know what this episode is, Jarron? It's
What?
episode 7DE3. Get it?
Oh,
7E3.
look at that wall, man.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. Let me just get my noose here and just hang myself.
Well, I mean, we didn't talk about it last week, so we got caught up in the whole industry discussion, which is a good discussion to be talking about, especially in our community.
Right, of course.
But we are going to be, even if it is a bit late, talking about our thoughts on
Rather
E3 and
Rather late.
Yeah, rather late of E3, But I guess it's a good way to get all the highlights out, bring in what we're excited for, what some good stuff came out, what they announced, and all that stuff. But before we get to that, how was your week, John? How are you?
My week has been comprised of modding Skyrim again.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty. Outside of work, did anything other than that happen? Did anything cool happen? Did my life get interesting? No, I didn't get interesting. I played Skyrim. I went swimming in Tennessee Lake. That was fun.
At least you went swimming.
Got some nice yeehaw experience down in Alabama.
Did you swing off of a rope swing, and jumped off into the river, and scream yeehaw? No, you don't do that there in Alabama.
No, I'm sure some people do, but black people don't.
Oh, okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Ropes are not really your kind of thing ever since.
Say that again?
Ropes have never been your thing ever since.
Yeah. No, you gotta stay away from them.
Good old slavery joke. Let's see.
Yep.
We're comedians, guys. Come on. Yeah.
Are we though?
Yeah, I believe we are. We're comedians in our own right.
Where's your card, Jomel? Where's your
what?
authorization?
My
authorization.
What authorization?
You have to take at least one improv class.
One improv class. My authorization. Yep. I am a creator.
I made a girl laugh once. That's all I need.
Hey, I make a lot of people laugh, even if it is self-deprecating most of the time. But still, they laugh.
That's okay. Self-deprecating humor is a good time.
Exactly. What's better to impress than depress, right?
I hate you.
Well, that's good. At least you got to swim. It's been the weather up here has been so janky. I have yet to even plan a beach or a pool day, to be honest.
Yeah, I certainly understand it'd be hard to. But I mean, there's tons of indoor pools, Jomel.
I mean, the next about to November though. We have to wait till then to actually get into some chlorine mixed water, and I want to do that now. It's in June. It's almost the end of the June, and it's gonna be July in the next couple of weeks.
Go do it now.
Well, I can't do it now. We're recording a podcast, and it's 10:30 in the evening. But yeah, I probably should. But the weather has been clearing up a lot better. I mean, hopefully it's not a false flag here like we've been getting for the past couple of weeks, even in June.
I mean, it's Chicago, so.
Honestly, we get nothing but we'll have 1 or 2 days of straight sunshine just to blue ball us, and then by that third day or towards the weekend, boom, cloudy as fuck, boom, rainy season, boom, gnats everywhere.
God, don't even get me started on the fucking gnats. I want to. God.
You know they got into my workplace, so now they're everywhere in my workplace.
Well, I'm sure they can get anywhere. Every so often, I just find one buzzing around my room. I don't know what to do. I kill one and then they just don't stop. They'll never stop. I don't know what to do, Jomel. Maybe I just have to face the fact that you can't defeat nature. That we are.
Yeah, it's true.
But I don't know. It's other than that, yeah. Like I said, my week has been relatively uninteresting.
Well,
how about yours, Jomel? What did you do?
What did I do? I had a good time. I had a pretty good time so far this past week. It's official. I'm full time now.
That went through.
Yeah, exactly. So the nudge was was real. So yeah, because
So
funny
now
enough,
you're an official mailman.
exactly. I'm now an official mailman, and I now have benefits and overtime, or no PTO. That's what it is.
Ugh.
So and I also got a raise, like a little bit of a raise. So, but that's good. I can now spend my money even more irresponsibly that I have been.
Now you can't stop me from buying my weeb shit.
Well, no, see, I actually went out shopping today and got some. No, I went out shopping yesterday and today, so that's how
Uh-huh.
That's how you can tell I've been enjoying my new like pay, like just more income in under my belt.
Right.
Like I recently just bought like what is it amiibo for Lil Mac.
Why?
Uh,
So okay, look. All right. So first of all, fuck you.
what?
Second of all, of all the goddamn amiibos you could get, you got the one for Little Mac.
Hey, I'm a Lil
Why?
Mac main. I'm a Lil Mac main. That's why.
There are no Little Mac mains. There's people that are bad at the game, and Little Mac does well on the ground.
Well, I'm a Lil Mac
Next.
main.
Next,
You know
bitch.
what? You know what? Fuck you. But other than that, I also went to Bed Bath and Beyond. Got myself a little like, um, lavender like
Some good
spritz.
spanking lotions.
No, not lotions and stuff. I get some. I got a lavender spray, which is nice. It smells like really nice and
Suppose
springy.
you could use that too.
Yeah, it was nice. It was on sale too, like $3 from like 14.
Mm.
So it was definitely a steal right there. And today I bought
Mm.
myself a pair of new kicks, some new Adidas kicks, shoes for
Ooh.
you non-slang people.
On
Um,
slang.
and a new watch. I got a new smartwatch as well. Cause I've been meaning to get a new casual watch or casual smartwatch to wear for my casual fits as of late. So, because I got nothing but like
Blend in with the normies.
well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, for me to blend in really well, I need to like have that kind of, you know, casual feel. But then once they start talking to me, I reel them in like, so you like hentai, you know, and get them.
Yeah.
I get them while they're trapped.
Right, right.
Exactly.
Make them
So,
regret existing in front of you at that moment.
Exactly, and they can't turn back because I'll have them by the tentacles, Jarron. That's how that works.
That's you got it. You figured it out.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so far other than that, it's been like a pretty casual shopping week. Um, I'm talking to this girl. Yeah, she's from Texas.
Go on. Fill me in with those juicy tidbits.
Oh come on, Jarron. Well, this is a family. This is a Christian podcast. I can't be going.
We've already mentioned tentacles and hentai.
Exactly, fam. We're a Christian podcast.
Right, right.
What's more
right.
Christian
Yep,
than tentacles and the wrath of Cthulhu himself?
You're right. You're right. Fucking give me that gossip, bitch.
Well, I mean, there's not much. I finally caved and started using some apps, quote unquote. But I
Okay.
mean, for my own research, but at the same time, I was kind of curious to see how well they worked for my own personal benefit.
Uh-huh.
So far, this was the only one I got any kind of response from. She's pretty
Hey, I
smart.
mean, you're not gonna get a bite from everybody.
Yeah, she's pretty cool so far. We both kind of straight up like said like, well, she asked straight up like what did she want from this. So there was no
Uh-huh.
small
Which
talk
is
at all, which was kind of good because
no,
so
that's refreshing.
yeah, exactly. So what I said was, oh, I'm hoping to get to know someone as much as they want to get to know me, and she said like, oh, I want to be in a sincere relationship. Like, all right. So
Good start. Good start.
we're
But when
talking
you
right
gonna
now. That's not appropriate, Jaron. When you be talking about
fuck?
people that I just started talking to literally 2 days ago.
Right.
And speaking of
You're
which,
right. You're right.
has not messaged
My
me back
bad.
since then. Actually, for a while, we
That's
talked a
okay.
little bit, and then I don't know. We're kind of back and forth. I don't know what the sitch is, but I will give you more updates.
It's okay, Jomel. Don't hurt yourself.
No, it's okay. I mean, yeah, I know. I mean, again, I've never. For all you people out there, I'm not very experienced, and I'm also single. So, I don't know where I'm going
If
with
you
this.
want to hear his illustrious voice, Message me. I'll decide whether or not you're worthy, and then
Yes,
I'll send you
Jarron's
his
my
address, and
manager.
you can.
Jarron is my relationship
Yeah,
manager. Yeah, all the
yeah.
calls, all the news go through him first, and then it goes through me.
All the nudes.
Yeah,
You right.
it goes by your review first, and then you goes to me. You know,
Right.
that's how that
If
works.
you ain't got the shit, don't put it on the internet.
Or give it to Jarron.
Right.
Exactly. But you know, everything other than that, it's been a pretty decent week. If you
Mm-hmm.
guys have any single people out there that want to who are interested in a co-host, in a person that co-hosts a podcast, you know,
Mm-hmm.
for that
We
rep.
just soliciting right now.
No, I'm just
We just coming
saying.
out right now. We just
I'm just saying, like, if you're interested in talented people like Jerron and I, well, depending on
mm-hmm.
Jerron, if Jerron's gonna be in the market or not, depending on when this podcast
Right, right,
ever
right,
goes
right,
out, or
right.
depending on the time when you listen to this, where can they give us details of them hot singles, Jerron?
Those hot anime singles. You
Where
can
can they send those recommendations to us to?
yeah. You can find us on Facebook and or Twitter. Just search WANNABEABOO. And you can also listen to us on YouTube, iHeartRadio, iTunes / iMusic, iPodcasts, whatever it's gonna be. Listen Notes, Google Play, the Stitcher app. I already said Listen Notes. Any other place I might host our podcast or RSS feed. Get at us, boys and girls. I mean, boys can get at Jomel. Girls, ladies,
I mean,
you
see,
can get at me.
I mean,
Except you're just gonna get a lot of awkward bullshit back at you. So
yeah, true. I mean, also not to represent, not to misrepresent me, Duran.
mm-hmm.
That's all. The reason why, because there's actually a bit of an inside joke amongst my friends and I that
Mm-hmm.
see, okay, for all of you who guys do not know, I am straight. I'm a
Not
heterosexual male, but
on most days.
in most days, but apparently whenever I went out to, like, I don't know, in a lot of like social settings, like clubs, bars,
Oh
um,
yeah.
I've always I've always gotten interactions from gay men all the time. So
mm-hmm.
that became more of a meme for myself because I guess I put off that kind of energy, which is flattering.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind it as much nowadays because I actually find it flattering. But unfortunately, I'm not gay. I do not swing that way. But I do appreciate the effort that these guys go through. So a lot more, much more effort than I ever can put towards a woman in general. So good on you guys. But
Well,
unfortunately, I am not. I'm not looking for any men in my life right now. Unfortunately.
or probably in the near future. I mean, you never know. You're born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline sometimes. Doesn't hurt to try, you know?
Anyway, moving on. Let's see. E3. That's right. E3. That's what we're talking about this week.
That's what we're talking about today.
It's really late. Sort of. Oh, it's about a week late, in it. 2 weeks late when this
Yeah,
comes out.
yeah,
Technically.
but well, I mean, we're behind, but like, don't at us unless you're trying
True.
to.
Well, John, E3's always been your
Don't be
specialty.
upset.
That's
Right.
true.
It has
E3,
been my specialty.
so
Um,
why don't you take over, kind of like, because I honestly I only watched the Tuesdays, which was
you
that's
still
all I.
haven't watched any of them, you piece of shit.
Hey, I haven't. I've
It's
been
been
having.
2 weeks.
It has been 2 weeks. I only know all I know is the highlights. There was a lot to go through. I kind of wanted to go through the highlights.
I,
And
I
I'm personally
mean,
only excited
yeah.
about the. I'm also personally excited about a few games. That's also why too. Nothing else seemed to like pop out at me, to be
I mean, I
honest.
certainly understand.
So, but I mean, in terms of like, I kind of want. I want to talk about like what ones I'm excited for. But I feel like you had a good handle on the whole thing. So I like you to, you know, if you, I would like for someone like you of your expertise to explain how E3 went down.
Well,
Well,
all
generally,
right.
how
So
about
you
this?
say
Were you at
well,
least were you happy with it, or were you disappointed with E3 this year? The general.
I was whelmed. I would say I did like it, but I
Mm-hmm.
also like every or most of the E3s. Some people would argue that this one was a bad one because they didn't really like. They say they didn't do anything, but like, what the hell do you mean didn't do anything? You know, like they announced plenty of stuff. They gave us more information. They wowed us. They wooed us. You know, that's the whole point to the E3 press conference. It's not necessarily for. I mean, it's for announcements, but it's for, it's a press conference for generating press. I mean, granted, it originally was meant for like a marketing expo, but times have changed. So,
Right.
um, but anyway, in terms of just general presentation from all the companies that I did see, I mean, I can't shit on you too much, Jomel. I still haven't watched the Ubisoft
Oh, really?
presentation. Yeah. But I did get the highlights from that one. Um, Honestly, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna go in any particular order here, but some of my most some of the things I'm most interested in is one. This is going out to our friend that messaged us about Fantasy Star 2 Online. I am hella excited that that's coming to the West officially.
Mm.
Like
That's cool.
I've so the whole thing about that was that the first one came out. I don't think it did very well here in the West. Maybe like 10 years ago, and they made the second one, kept it in Japan, and there were no rumors up until the day it was fucking announced that it was
Damn.
coming to the West. Everyone thought it was a lost cause, and
Oh, really?
you had to download it from the Japanese site and install an English patch. No
I
one
see.
thought. That's why I'm fucking excited. That's the kind of announcements I do wish E3 had more of, but unfortunately it just I mean there was stuff for everyone. But anyway, excited for that. Shit. Making me go back down memory lane here. Uh I guess it'd be easier to start with like each press conference. So Xbox, outside of them really stretching people's patience with the word gamers, because that was said maybe every 5 minutes. I'll give them credit. Every 6 minutes. Um, they are. I think they did well. Maybe not so much. Not necessarily because I mean they were the ones that announced Fantasy Star. They were the ones who announced the new From Software game, Elden Rings,
Right.
things like that. But sorry about that, everyone. They were the ones to announce those, but I think it's just because Sony wasn't there to announce them.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Um so they essentially got to do part of Sony's job, which is I mean, I don't want to I guess it's a little shitty to say it that way, but like looking at things like Halo, the new Halo what was it? Infinite? Halo Infinite trailer, new
Yeah.
Gears trailer, the new modes for that. That was all fine and dandy for people that, obviously like the games. Their announcement of their new well, not new streaming service, but revamped streaming service, I guess.
Like updated.
That was yeah. So it's man, I don't remember any of the details. I just know it's so if you've ever used a PlayStation Now, it's similar, but they have said that theirs is supposed to be their streaming quality is supposed to be a little bit better. The ping's supposed to be less and stuff like that. And it also released the day they announced it. That was neat. Because I don't think they had that library open yet, or if they did, they had a small one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, shoot, what Xbox talked about so much shit. I honestly don't fucking. Um, I think the biggest takeaway from it was the fact that Microsoft in general is trying to go lean more towards the PC area. I mean, of course, they announced the Xbox. What did they call it? Xbox. Fucking
Scarlet, was it Scarlet?
dickhole X. Yes, the Scarlet, the
Scarlet
Xbox
Project.
Scarlet, which are gonna change it to some stupid name, Xbox One, Two, Xbox. Fucking suck my dick, whatever they're gonna call it.
Right.
So they didn't announce the Scarlet, saying it's gonna be the most innovative, blah 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 stuff they say every single year.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually been a lot of press around those people saying like, oh, we heard rumors that the PlayStation 5 is going to be stronger than the Scarlet and shit like that.
And then there's also Google,
And we
Google
got
Stadia being a thing as well.
right, there's also Google Stadia, but that wasn't announced until was that announced? Oh yeah, Microsoft did announce that, didn't they? Didn't they?
I feel like it. I mean, it would make sense if they did.
Well, I mean, that's another big thing in the gaming industry is the Google Stadia. Yes, jumping back to Xbox real quick, they did announce a lot of indie games, but I mean, as we know with indie games, um, they're pretty much going to be on every console
Right.
except the Switch for some parts. Um, a couple good ones that were announced, were not announced, but extended trailers. We got Ori Will of the Wisps. We got Hollow Knight, Silk Song, um, and a few others that aren't coming to mind. But going to the Google Stadia, I'm pretty interested in it, and simply because. So I guess let me start at the beginning. If you don't know what the Google Stadia is, it's Google's attempt to join the gaming market through streaming through a video game streaming service similar to PlayStation Now and Xbox's whatever the fuck they called it. um but instead of them I guess using your and instead of you hosting it through your network, so if you have butthole internet, um in most cases, so if you were using PlayStation Now, your ping would be out the fucking roof. You press X and 5 years later, the fucking character will jump or whatever.
Right.
Apparently, what Google Stadia is trying to do is that they're going to use their own Google servers to host
Okay.
the game that you play to reduce ping, to reduce latency, and things like that.
Okay.
And the whole thing works in two ways or a couple ways. So any device that can have Google Chrome on it as a browser can run the game. So you can do it with your phone. You can do it with like if you have a HGTV, but it's not a smart TV. You can get the Google Chrome Mini, the Google Home Minis. Do it through that. If you have a smart TV, you can do it through that. Obviously, you can do it through your computer and stuff like that. But in most of those cases, outside of the one with your computer, you have to have their special remote to play, which I mean, to
The
be
controller.
fair
Yeah.
enough, right?
I mean, it only makes sense in that case.
Right. and and the way they're monetizing it is that you can either pay a $15 a month fee to have access to their library of games,
Mm-hmm.
or you buy the games individually. Now, the problem with this is that one, if they're actually able to reduce latency and shit like that, then awesome, great. Welcome to the future of gaming, everybody. Cheers and
Mm-hmm.
claps. But if the other part of it is, or I guess the main problem people are seeing is, or I guess maybe not the main problem, but a rising problem is the fact that you don't own the game at any time. You have to be connected to the internet no matter what. You cannot play offline. So there's no way to like actually own or say you have the game in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You have access to it, but you don't have it. So for example, with Steam, you buy a game, even though it's, you download it and it's digital, you can still play offline and shit like that. PlayStation, and I'm not really necessarily sure about Xbox. I don't have one. But PlayStation does a similar thing, or I guess kind of a similar thing to what Stadia does. If you can, or I guess a little bit of both. If you own a game, you buy it, you download it, you own it, you can play it offline. If you have a game through PlayStation Plus, I think you can only play. Yeah, you can only play that while you're online because it has to recognize that you are
Like signed
um,
in.
signed in your PS Plus membership, which is kind of shitty.
Hmm.
But I mean, you're getting a free game for your $15 a month or whatever, or
Yeah.
however much you're paying for your PSN subscription.
Right. I mean, at this point, I feel like the argument in that is like how do you how people mostly feel about game ownership at this point, and like how they want to
Right.
consume their games.
Hmm.
Because I mean, when you think about it, when are you never online? Technically, I guess. But the thing is, though, if that's the only option, that's still is a that can still lead to a big negative in the end. Because the fact that is like online is the only option in a platform like that, they're already
Hmm.
eliminating the other half of that spectrum. Was like, what if you're not online? You know,
Or can't be
exactly,
for an extended period of time.
exactly. So just limiting the offline option for that already kind of puts it at a disadvantage in general for at least for its business platform for what it's trying to portray as.
Right. But I
I mean,
mean,
in theory,
go on.
it's a really cool system. Like the system itself is really cool in terms of how they're trying
Hmm.
to execute it. Like
Right. Absolutely.
it's kind of like having other games accessible as long as there's a Google Chrome browser that you can use. Essentially,
Hmm.
it's kind of
Right.
like me at work. Like if it was out right now and it was like, for example, Destiny, Marshall and I can actually start leveling up our characters while at work because we can with the Stadia because of its
Hmm.
service
Essentially, you
and
just have to. It's just going to be very obvious when you have your fucking controller like hanging over your fucking phone.
yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, again, the whole system is really cool. It's pretty much it's almost like a way for you to universally game in a sense.
Right.
It's not limited to like a home console or even like a portable console. It's literally like if you have internet access, you can play your games. But
Hmm.
that's the thing. That's right. That's where the asterisk is. If you have internet
Hmm.
access, that's the only
Right.
thing. So, I mean, when does it come
And
out? When is it supposed to launch?
November. It's
Oh,
gonna come out when Destiny 2 goes free to play.
okay.
Because
So
that's gonna
when
be one of the first things on there.
so the one that the whole Shadowkeep thing. Okay. So I mean, we've
Yeah.
got until November for that to really flesh itself out and then release, and then we give it over that holiday quarter. No, yeah, we give it over. We let it ride the holiday quarter, and then maybe the first part of that quarter and see how well it does in those two quarters,
Hmm.
and
Now
we can't really find out until
I'm
then.
right. I'm honestly kind of like I don't mind competition in the video game world. Some people say competition breeds shit like, the console wars where it's just kind of a dick measuring contest, but like it does force companies to innovate, but I guess at the same time it kind of backs them into a corner where, we get the problem with triple A's these days where they come out broken because you have to get them out fast to beat the other person, but
True.
anyway,
I mean,
I
yeah.
do appreciate the additional competition from Google.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hopefully, like Google Stadia is like the first iteration of many different forms of it that I don't know, like maybe even the big boys might even start dabbling into in some way.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like this is a good step in the direction of gaming when it comes to like innovation and as well as
Right.
like just trying to what is it? Not really, yeah, build on top of the platform of gaming, you know, by by this new system. It's not perfect, obviously.
Hmm.
No first generation is perfect, and it's at this point it's only gonna like get better as it goes. And if it doesn't,
Right.
if it ends up
Absolutely.
dying, then it had its lifetime. Then we just move on to the next best thing. Immersive VR. I don't know.
Right. Well, I mean, VR technologies, is moving up there. You're seeing more and more games that are trying to utilize it and be more diverse and pick this shit up and make have something funny happen.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get our
Um.
let's get our Ready Player One aspects going, and then eventually we'll get
Oh,
into
shove that
like
up my ass, dude. I would be so fucking ready.
And then after next we'll get to we'll get into the like deep levels of like what's that one movie called? What's the what's that one movie called, Jarron, where the guy was like he was the main thing was like you can input false memories into your head so that it's almost like you experienced it yourself. But then he ended up being a
What?
spy. He ended up being a spy or something. Oh man, it was there was a remake of it. Arnold Schwarzenegger made was in the first movie of that. I have to look it up.
It wasn't the Terminator.
No. Um.
But yeah, no. Stadio's looking interesting. The other question is like, who exactly is this for? Is it for the hardcore gamer? Is it for the casual user? Because
Or both.
if
It could be
they
for
can't
both.
figure, it could be for the both. If they can't figure out the latency, however, it's not for the hardcore gamers.
That's true.
Because if it's laggy even by like a couple like what is it to be noticeable for competitive games? Yeah, no, it has to be frame perfect to
Mm-hmm.
be competitive. You
Like
can't
one to
play
one.
games like
It has to be like 1-to-1 perfect.
well, even with like controllers, there's like I think there's like a frame and a half maybe behind. Like the
Really?
ping between your keyboard and what's happening on screen is like a frame or so. I'm not sure.
Mm.
But like with that, it would add at least I think it was most people are predicting that it would add like 5 or 6 frames. If you don't know what frames are, it's essentially you. I would hope that you've heard of things running at a certain FPS or like frames per second. So like typically you can see 30 frames per second or most video games on like PlayStation 3 and stuff like that. 60 frames per second is what makes things look super fucking smooth when they move around. And after that, I mean, you can notice an additional smoothness, but like once you get up into the 90s, it doesn't fucking matter. And people that say, "Oh, it does matter," are
Yeah.
insane.
No, they're robots. That's what they are.
They're robots. They're counting them. They're counting every single fucking frame going by. It's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
so when you kind of break it down to what a frame is, a single frame is like
That second.
like
It's a frame per second. So it's
it's
oh no, a single frame in like 20 or 30. That's like a millisecond. Something.
yeah, about a millisecond, maybe a little less. So it's not noticeable to most people. So again, if between the input of the person to the key from their keyboard or controller to the game, if it's a frame or a half a frame, you're not going to really notice. But if
Right.
it's 5 to 6, you're gonna feel that lag. It will literally feel like input lag from whatever you're inputting to what should be happening on the screen. So obviously you can't play competitive games like that. You can't play any fighting game, like competitively. You can't play shooters. You definitely can't play shooters. Fuck that. Don't
Yeah.
even pick one up.
Oh yes.
Um, So if that's the problem with that, and then with the casual user, you're assuming this casual user is always going to be connected to the internet. Like maybe the hardcore gamer will be because they have typically if you're a hardcore gamer, you probably have enough money to support that hobby, or like whatever you want to call it, job, lifestyle, hobby, whatever. But casually, you're not necessarily always going to be connected to the internet. So like it's kind of the question is who is this really trying to market towards? I can't really say whoever decides to pick it up and play it come November, let us know, let the world know, write your articles, write your blogs, Facebook rant, get cancerous in the YouTube comments, don't get too cancerous. um I'm genuinely curious as to what's going to happen come November with uh, the Google Stadia.
Yeah, same. By the way, it's Total
Yeah.
Recall. That's the movie name.
Oh yeah, Total Recall. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Let's start putting games in our heads. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. It's. I mean, I
It's
know when I
like,
play League, I complain that my inputs don't match exactly what I thought was gonna happen. So,
oh, there we go.
but I don't need League to get in my head. I get salty enough.
In real life.
But anyway, again, I don't remember as much as I would like from Microsoft. Again, I'm excited about Fantasy Star Online 2 because it looks. I know before like the environments don't look as great as I would like to compared to most other like non Japanese games, but like the characters themselves look amazing. And you can buy some nice cosmetics that make you a little bit rounder in certain areas, so I'm happy about that.
True.
Um and they, like I said, they also announced that From Software game that's going to be by George R. Martin and the people that made Dark Souls. So that makes me super fucking happy. Oh, they also announced that, what was it? It was like Greek. It looked like it was supposed to be like Breath of the Wild mixed with
Oh
like
yeah.
Greek mythology. I don't remember
Um.
exactly what it's called. It was like of gods and Greeks or something like that. Of gods and something.
Mhm.
That looks really interesting. There were a couple others. Look at the highlights. Way too many games to actually fucking try to go over that weren't, our personal favorites. Let's see who came in, who did who
Gods and
showed after
monsters.
that. Gods and Monsters. There we go.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
That's I know that's gonna be fun. Oh, and I think Death Stranding have any? No, that's PlayStation.
Yeah.
They had Death Stranding had its own thing. Yeah, I can't really think of any others. What else came out? I know Square Enix had theirs, Ubisoft had theirs, but I missed that, so I'm gonna let you talk about that one. Um, Devolver Digital had their weird ass shit. uh, who else? Bethesda had their. Oh, let me talk about fucking Bethesda. So Bethesda, our favorite people that port Skyrim to every goddamn device in human existence. They are doubling down on their support for Fallout 76. They know they fucked up,
Mhm.
or at least they allude to that. Oh wait, no, going back, double and way the hell back. I forgot one thing I didn't mention. Fucking Cyberpunk 2077. I completely forgot. I completely. Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk 2077. Amazing. He showed up on the Microsoft E3 press during the conference. He showed up and talked to us, and he's a beautiful human being. Anyway, look out for Cyberpunk 2077 coming out next year. I think in April.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, Bethesda, they're doubling down on Fallout 76. Whoever the hell is still playing that game has made it a nice little community. You don't really kill each other; you just kind of enjoy the content. Um, they did make some pretty nice announcements for it. They're giving it a battle royale. Take that as you may.
Yeah.
But they are coming out with an actual expansion where they're bringing back voiced NPCs and dialogue choices and stuff like that. So you'll get to experience that whenever that comes out. I don't remember. Make sure you look into that. It was called Fallout 76 Firewatch. I think. No, Firewatch was the battle royale. It was something. Look it up. Fuck you. Uh Elder Scrolls Blades is coming to the Switch. However you feel about that. Their Elder Scrolls Online is getting an expansion to their Elsewire is officially coming out, which is their next expansion.
Mhm.
Let's see what else did they talk about? We got to see our God Howard tell us that Elder Scrolls 6 and what was it? Star Citizen? Not Star Citizen. What was their space game that was coming out?
Which one?
They announced it last year. Whatever.
Uh,
There are future shits in development. Uh, Currently Bethesda's, in the shit room because of Fallout 76. They're still working at it, which makes me happy. So here's hoping that it gets better.
Starfield.
Uh, huh?
Starfield.
Starfield. There we go.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
See what else. I don't think Bethesda had too much else. There's also people. No, that was people were way too fucking hyped for Elder Scrolls, like suspiciously hyped. The man, it's like whoever was presenting the game, he'd start talking about something and people just immediately start cheering. Yeah, I would think Bethesda wouldn't pay people to hype the game, but
No, you're right. They just have a gun
I
to
would
their
hope
head.
they wouldn't. Would fucking hope they wouldn't. Let's see. There was Bethesda. Square Enix will be easy. Hey, did you know Final Fantasy VII is getting a remake? You and every other fucking person in the world.
True, but not just
But
seven.
it's looking, huh?
It's not just seven though.
Well, they're remaking seven. They're
Yeah,
remastering. What is it? Eight?
eight. Yeah, eight.
Or is that nine?
No, eight. It's eight.
It's eight. Okay, so they're remastering eight, so it doesn't look like Pixel Garbo.
Exactly.
I
He's
mean,
so
it still
beautiful
looks
though.
like it was on the PlayStation, right?
He's so beautiful, even with pixels or not.
Right. You're right. Um, compared to my modded Skyrim, it looks like Pixel Garbo.
Okay.
But Final Fantasy VII is looking really good. It's absolutely gorgeous. Square Enix has always been pretty good at making shit ridiculously pretty. The combat, to some people's dismay, is not exactly turn-based anymore. It does an action gauge. They call it the ATB bar. I forget exactly what that means, but essentially, as you attack as any of the characters, you can play as Cloud, the black guy, Tifa, Aerith, and whoever else goes in your party. I'm sorry, I never played Final Fantasy VII. Shoot me in the face if you want. Um, as you attack, you fill your ATB gauge faster than normally would, and that's where the big damage comes out. Just regularly attacking is not going to do as it's not going to do much. You gotta put some flair on it, literally. Um, Boss battles look not like dynamic in the sense that you're doing well, no, yeah, you're basically fighting a MMO raid boss with your party. You gotta dip, dodge, and weave through its attacks. Attack when you can, and everything's going to be cinematic when it reaches different health thresholds, or at least we think so with the boss that was shown during the conference. It had, obviously, it's three phases. You get to its certain health threshold. It does something and gains a new attack, and so on and so forth. Um, so that's looking amazing. The sad part about Final Fantasy VII, though, is that because their ambitions for this remake are so large, the first what they're releasing when it comes out is just the adventure in Midgar, whatever it's called, which I think is chapter 1 through 3. So you won't be able to leave Midgar, but there's you know tons of hours worth of game content within the city, because there's a lot of stuff I guess they said that they wanted to explore in 7, back on the PlayStation. Yeah, but obviously they couldn't because of hardware constraints.
Right.
Um, but they really want to flesh out literally everything. So the first part of it's coming out, I think, was it by the end of this year or early next year? Like I said, it'll only cover Midgard, but there's plenty of stuff to do. I don't think you'll have to deal with Aerith dying yet. Maybe you will. Who knows? Spoiler alert if you haven't played a fucking what
Old ass game.
old ass game, fucking 16 years in the making. Fuck you. Um, they talked about Final Fantasy 14 online. Shadowbringers is coming out. That's coming out next month, actually, early next month. I think on the 5th or the 3rd. Pre-orders out for your, if you want your statues and shit. Um,
Mm,
looks good. I think I remember they gave a little bit of a story tidbit. Won't get into that necessarily because if you don't play the MMO, then who cares? I guess you could say if you don't play any of these games, then who cares? But you're watching it, probably, maybe, so you care enough, hopefully. um, see, what else? Square Enix owned studios put out some stuff, but I don't remember what they put out. Unfortunately, sure it was great stuff because I don't want to shit on any companies. I just don't remember. It's been 2 weeks.
yeah, it's true.
Um, tell me about the Ubisoft press conference.
Well, I mean, the big ones from Ubisoft were was it Watch Dogs Legion.
Oh yeah,
That was a
I
pretty
want
cool
some
one.
details on that. What the fuck's going on with these grandmas, dude?
Well, essentially, what it is, it's like pretty much. Uh, how do I put this? It's kind of like having. So it's based in London, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of like how what's a good comparison to this? Remember how you had how you had a team in Watch Dogs 2 that was your team in base in like was it San Francisco, I think.
Right, right, right.
So essentially you can do the exact same thing. You can have like your own team in like London, but you can recruit anybody you wanted. Anybody you can be anyone you can recruit anyone you want in that team, including like old ass grandmas that can hack through like city blocks and shit.
That's amazing.
So
That's exactly what we need in video games.
so there
Grandmas
so
being badass.
pretty much a Watch Dogs Legion is pretty much like making your own like what were they called back in Watch Dogs 2?
I don't
I can't remember.
hackers.
I can't remember what the hacker group was called, but essentially,
Your hacker squad.
you're
You got your black shades, your vapor wave colors. You hack in with your glove, and you always yell, "I'm in" once you get access.
mm, so, but yeah, essentially, you're just making your own team of like hacker squads, and what was it? So and it's the same kind of like like a resistance story between like the main character you and like the establishment, the
Mhm.
AI establishment of the city, which in this case is London.
Well, from what I heard, is that there is no actual main character. You just
Yeah,
play as whoever your team is.
you.
You configure your team based on whatever the fuck you want, and you just
Yeah,
play those characters. You just play those NPCs.
just have a whole team of grandmas, Jarron. That's the key thing. Just
I
recruit the
mean, it's got.
just recruit the oldest looking just recruit the oldest looking NPCs and then just have a whole team of them, just like doing shit.
I don't know how I feel about London's finest police officers being able to be taken down by grandmas easily.
I mean, hell, you don't know what Granny Smith is working on over there across the street.
You fucking right. You fucking right, dude.
You turn around and all of a sudden you get fucking hacked by you get fucking shocked by a drone and you see Granny Smith across the street just chuckling, or the Queen. Kind of like imagine like the Queen being little shit.
That would be well.
By the way, we love
That'd be
you,
amazing.
Queen Elizabeth. Hopefully, I don't get
Yeah.
we don't get hunted down by the royal guard.
If you wanna get on the podcast, Queen Elizabeth, hit us.
If Queen Elizabeth was listening to our podcast, that's more than enough for me to be satisfied at this point. I don't know what the fuck she's doing here. I'll be honest. I feel like you stumbled across the internets in a wrong way, in the wrong fashion, and somehow found us to a degree. I don't know.
The right place.
A place in this case. What else? Rainbow Six Siege is getting a new multi new season. What is it? Clutch Royale.
What?
Rainbow Six Siege. It's like a new. There's a new season of that going on.
Wait,
From,
what's Clutch Royale?
that's the name of the new season of Rainbow Six Siege's
Oh.
thing. Um, let's see. There's also the Brawlhalla and Adventure Time game.
Heard of that. What about
Uh,
that?
it's available now. So the expansion of that will be available now.
So if you want to join Finn the Human and Jake the Dog and beat the shit out of other fantasy creatures, go ahead and play Brawlhalla, a Smash Bros. Ripoff. I mean, not ripoff. Inspired game.
There we go. Another big one here was also Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, it's another Tom Clancy game. You know, his fucking name lives on even past his books, even past his body. You know.
Well, past his body.
True, it's true. His books are one thing, but the games are another. Jeez. What's his face is in it? I can't remember. There's an actor. I can't remember what his fucking name is. I feel like I have to look it up. I'll take too much time looking it up.
Is
there's
it
also
Keanu? Is it Keanu Reeves?
no, it's not as cool as Keanu Reeves, unfortunately. So,
I didn't fucking think so.
Sam Fisher. That's what it is.
Sam.
Oh no, wait no. Wait, hold on. I'm reading something else.
Isn't he
different.
always from Splinter Cell? Tom Clancy Splinter Cell. Yeah, Tom
Yeah.
Fisher.
Yeah, that's gonna be Sam Fisher is gonna be one of the playable characters in
Sam
another.
Fisher. Yeah.
Sam Fisher is gonna be in a playable character in Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, which is a mobile game. That's where I was reading it from.
Interesting.
So it's a new mobile game that's coming out. So yeah, Sam Fisher could be a playable character in that. For Honor is getting another limited time event. Shadows of Hitokiri, from what it says. It's ongoing. It's ongoing now. It will be up until June 27th. So you guys, if you guys are listening to this and are still playing For Honor, it's up until the 27th. So get your For Honor on.
Right.
Rainbow Six. Another update from Rainbow Six Siege. Quarantine. There's not much information about it yet. But apparently it's 3 players against computer, so AI, so 3 players, so player versus AI. Literally no information on it. It's supposed to be available early 2020. So Rainbow Six, Rainbow Six Quarantine. That's the name of that. And there's more details on the Division 2. So, like,
I know you're pretty hard about that.
Oh no, I fucking am. That's, goddamn. There's so much going on in Division 2, and when they announce this too, I'm like, goddamn, I have to do a lot more now. I mean, it's great. It's fucking great. That's one of the few. This is one of the few things that the first division pretty much lacked in, which is literally content. So, knowing that there's no more info on, or more content to do on Division 2 on top of what I have to do now, is fucking amazing. Like, for example, like the updates on this one's gonna be, I'm gonna be going out. We can actually go outside of Washington D.C. now, and go to, be in the woodlands of Virginia, from what it says.
West Virginia.
Well, I think it's just normal Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And apparently this is a weird thing. Apparently a movie based on the Division is gonna debut on Netflix. Apparently sometime in the near future.
Interesting.
So I mean, Division's always had an interesting story. I wouldn't mind seeing get a nice rendition. I kind of like I feel like that would be a good like what's Black Mirror episode, the Division.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, I can see that.
Like virus infecting. No. It wasn't a virus. It was a weird illness thing that was spread around through money. That's what the green virus, the green strain. I don't know. It was pretty cool. Division's like world building is actually really cool, and even like the process of that is interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that as a live action or some kind of movie or series.
And
then You play. You play Plus, actually. An update on You
Yeah,
Play.
no one cares about you plus.
Well,
Look. Go on.
Oh, no, no. I feel like you had a point.
My point was is that you play sucks.
Right.
But maybe you play plus is not suck.
No, I mean, You Play Plus is going to be in service on Google Stadia as well.
Interesting.
So, um, so it's gonna be kicking off in September, called UPlay Plus, and it's gonna offer more than 100 games, and to be about $15 a month. So games like Rainbow Six Siege, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Beyond Good and Evil, blah blah blah. It's all gonna be once the service debuts once the service debuts in September, that's what you're gonna have access to. And then it's also gonna offer the same access to both main games and their respective DLC packs as well. And it's also gonna be, like I just said, it'll be also be in tandem with Google Stadia.
Stadia sounds cooler. Sounds
Yeah, it
more
does.
Russian.
Stadia. It looks. It
That
sounds
wasn't a
more.
that
It
wasn't a
sounds
Russian
like the
accent.
future, Jarron. It sounds like the future.
That's
Like,
right.
oh, what you play on? Oh, Stadia. Like
The Stadia.
it's like when someone asks you what kind of frappe you have, and it's kind of like overcomplicated thing, or
Right. The ice mochaccino lattecino avec moi.
or like a macchiato. It's like, ooh, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's just cocoa and milk. Oh, why don't you just say that?
Yeah.
Macchiato sounds cooler. Like in
That's
this case,
because it tastes better if it sounds pretentious.
yeah, exactly. Or like, oh, what are you playing that on? Oh, I'm playing it on Google Chrome. No, I'm playing it on Stadia. Ooh, what's Stadia? And then you can take your dick out and start jerking it off. Essentially.
Yep. Right then and there.
Let's see. Some other game here called Roller Champions. It's a rollerblading racing game and basketball.
That looks
Rollerblading
cool.
racing and basketball. It's really
It's
interesting.
a roller derby.
With basketball. Yeah, because
Roller derby. That's what it is.
I mean, isn't roller derby just like racing? There's no actual like outside.
No. There's no racing. You're trying to score a point with the ball.
Oh, is that what it is? Is that what that is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I always thought roller derbies were just like laps and being
No.
first or something. No. Oh.
I mean, there's skating races, but no roller derby. Maybe I am mistaken. Maybe roller derby is the racing, but I could have sworn roller derby involved the ball.
I don't ever recall roller derby ever involving another object besides themselves. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. IRL. But you can actually start playing that game as of today. Well, today being when they announced it, but you can play the game today because it's they have a pre-alpha demo that they have on the Uplay site. So if you're interested in your roller derbiness,
From what I saw
go check
out
out
there,
that.
it looks pretty.
oh yeah, it's definitely got that. It's not indie, but at the same time, it's refreshing. It's a refreshing kind of a feel to it. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I did get you.
Yeah, hopefully, and of course, one of the other big announcements is also the Gods and Monsters game, which is essentially
Right.
Greek of the Wild.
That's
Just
actually
because
a
of
pretty good analogy.
I know, right? Just because of its fucking like resemblance towards Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. But
So
that's fine because I mean most people know about Breath of the Wild and how good it is. Some people say it wasn't great, which I mean everyone has their argument even if they're wrong. Um, but like being compared to a game like that in terms of what the scope's supposed to be for the way it plays, that's just nothing but a good thing to me.
like what is it? I remember there are a lot of people. Like I won't say they were complaining, but they kind of hoped that Sword and Shield was gonna be like Breath of the Wild in a sense.
Sword and Shield. Oh, okay,
Pokemon,
yeah.
Pokemon Sword and
Yeah,
Shield.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll get to the shitstorm around what's going on with Nintendo in a second.
Yeah. But to finish off with Gods and Monsters, I mean, there's not too much information about it. Generally, the story is that you and ancient heroes, you gotta battle mythical beasts and all that serve the gods. As like we just said, the reason why we dubbed it as Greek of the Wild is because of its resemblance, its scope, its like what else is it? It's got that really open world feel, and you can just kind of roam around in an ancient Greek-esque world and battle
Right.
mythical creatures. I mean, hell, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to compare to besides Breath of the Wild at this point. It
I mean, because
said,
there's not too many games like
yeah.
TBH.
Um, so I mean, one of the big things here is though it's done by the Assassin's Creed Odyssey team. So depending on how you guys receive that game, that's the team that's gonna be working on that. And
I mean, the argument that I'll allow anyone to make about Assassin's Creed Origins is that they lost the spirit of what Assassin's Creed was supposed to be.
I said Odyssey, honestly,
All right, Odyssey, yeah. Well,
okay.
both Origins and Odyssey, TBH.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. You're fucking
Well, I hear Odyssey was a
like
lot better in terms of reformatting the Assassin's Creed name. How because it's
you
kind of
can
like how,
shoot lasers out of a spear. What are you talking about?
I mean, you had a magical apple, no other four games.
Yeah, but guess how many times you actually saw the apple?
That's true. Only in cutscenes, and use it once toward like a linear end credit scene or linear end
Right.
scene. So yeah. Well, I mean, this is not obviously Gods and Monsters is not a it's not an Assassin's Creed game. So we can kind of like let them kind of go off on a tangent and really go at this point. So
Right.
especially with the Odyssey team, Greek mythology and all that stuff, I feel like this is definitely gonna flourish a lot better. I mean, I wouldn't mind shooting a fucking laser beam out of a sword at this point if it's Gods and Monsters. You know,
Right.
especially since it's
Oh no,
a
I'd be down 100%.
yeah, definitely. It's gonna be coming out in February 2020, so relatively in that first quarter. So it's gonna be soon
Mm-hmm.
in accordance in relativity to the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that, that's about it. That covers Ubisoft.
Okay.
So
It's got some pretty interesting stuff coming up. I'm thoroughly interested in that Gods and Monsters game because like
yeah, that and Watch Dogs.
I oh yeah that and Watch Dogs. So like Watch Dogs 1 was
I don't know.
I mean it was
I enjoyed Watch Dogs one. Actually, to be honest with you, that was me
right.
though. Just because like
Mm-hmm.
a hackable Chicago, and then I actually enjoy. I also thoroughly enjoyed the story too, given it was very straightforward for the most part.
Right.
So it was my
I mean I
first
was gonna
PS4
say it
game.
was definitely a good game in its own right. Well, I mean obviously it had its flaws, but
Right.
if we had to be specific, it's the driving and like things I guess got a little repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
You want to argue that? So
Yeah,
like
that's
yes,
true.
it had its problems, most def. But I honestly think it's like two definitely improved on pretty much everything. Well, no, it improved on all the mechanics. The
Mm-hmm.
story, while overarching, was pretty good. I liked the more serious nature of it with the first one. Second one made it all feel kind of goofy, you know?
I wouldn't say goofy, but like it was more. It was like the second one was almost like trying to make it fun and hip, you know,
Right.
like very millennial, if anything. Like
Right.
it made it seem like it was a millennial game, like it was a millennial version.
A millennial.
Yeah, yeah. like Watch Dogs 1 was your dad, Watch Dogs 2 is you, and then Watch Dogs 3 is for your grandma or Legion, Watch Dogs
Right.
Legion. Yeah.
Right. Shit, you right.
So
I
I
could
mean,
have been
but
so foolish.
I also did enjoy. I mean, a lot of people enjoyed Watch Dogs 2, and I did as well. So because they added a bunch of new shit, and it was a lot. It was a different. It was essentially a different way of doing things. It's like added on to the system what Watch Dogs 1 had, and just kind of made
Mhm.
it more. Well, they refreshed it and fine tuned it a little bit more. I'm excited to see what else they're gonna add on to add on to the system with Legion. So
Mhm.
and they're going back to their darker
Obviously
roots.
grandmas.
Oh yeah, obviously grandmas, but they're also going back to their darker roots as well, so which is kind of cool
You mean
because
darker roots? Are they gonna get edgy?
Well, I wouldn't say edgy, but like AI. You have an AI system that rules London, and Big
Ah,
Brother's always watching you, kind of deal. Kind of like, if anything, it's very I just Black Mirror esque, which is appropriate
right,
given that it's in London.
right.
So, so I like it. It's like a nice back and forth. I don't, I wouldn't mind. It's kind of like revamping Watch Dogs 1, except with grandmas.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, but moving on though, Nintendo.
So, I mean, I don't think it's too much secret to know that Nintendo is probably my favorite company in just existence,
Mm-hmm.
video game company in existence. I can't say so much for you, Jomel. How do you truly feel about Nintendo?
Nintendo. Oh, I love it. Nintendo. How do I put it? Nintendo's sort of like my grandfather that I never really
Uh,
see a lot, but
yeah.
I whenever I do see him, it was always a treat, and he's always there to provide something fun. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I see it as. Nintendo's always
Just
been
good
that.
old granddad.
Yeah, Nintendo's been the good old granddad that hangs out in the background and doesn't really mind, doesn't pay much to the world around him, but whatever he's working on in his shop or whatever in his living room.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it as. They're a fun company. I never really have any problems with them, to be honest.
I mean, I certainly agree. It's like I don't know, Nintendo because Nintendo having Nintendo console was one of my first gaming experiences with the Game Boy Color. Or yeah, it was a Game Boy Color with all the extra, skeleton bullshit on it.
Right.
Um, but so I might sound a little bit biased when it comes to any of their titles. I'll pretty much suck their dick no matter what. So that's I guess fair warning if you couldn't tell from before. Um, Nintendo did come up with quite a few things. They obviously didn't have a press conference. They did their Nintendo Direct. Um, we got some pretty nice details on a lot of the games, a lot of their new IPs specifically that I've been really excited about. So first up is because we'll get to the main titles like Pokemon, Smash, and all that stuff. Especially Smash. We'll leave that for the end.
Oh yeah.
Um, uh, the first thing I do want to talk about is their what is it, Damon X Machina
Oh
game,
yeah.
their mech game. I almost said anime. um, I'm hella excited about that because it's like I don't think we've had a stylized mech game in a very long time on a main
No.
console.
No. Not. I don't even think there has been in a while, to be honest, though, or
Right?
at
Yeah.
all.
Well, I mean, there's some like there's a relatively popular series, I think Armored Core,
All
where you
right.
do get to
Yeah.
like customize your own robot, your giant mechs and stuff,
Right.
and fight, duke it out with against other players, and I think there's
True.
PVE,
Yeah.
but
It's not a
I
style.
don't
That's
like
more
you
like
said.
it's more like a military rustic look.
Right,
Very industrial, very kind of modern, like modern advanced, and all that kind of stuff. But
right.
it's like you said, it's not as stylized as like something like the Damon X Machina.
Hmm. And so it's like they gave us a couple details. So one again, the game looks amazing. I love the way it looks. It like everything feels fast paced. It feels like you're playing in a mech anime, and that's that's the dream right there. Obviously, you
Exactly.
could play the Gundam video games, but it's nice to have a new, fresh idea for it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like as
Um,
much as Gundam's been around for a long time, it's always nice to see a fresh set of mecha designs and
mhm,
mecha concepts in the world of gaming. In this case.
mhm. So the main, I guess, one of the unique things about Daemon X Machina, I mean, I guess it's not really unique because it's essentially a looter shooter. So you start the game with your basic weapons and shit. The only way to progress with your weapons is to essentially steal them from your enemies. So as you get a certain amount that you can equip, you take them from your enemies, and you use them on the fly. Nothing, I guess, too super. Not I don't want to say innovative, not innovative, because they implement it in a certain way that makes it feel not new but
It's
interesting.
a
I say, what's
yeah,
the word I'm looking for?
it's a redone kind of. Well, it's yeah. It's a creative way of upgrading your suits.
Right. So instead of just, doing the R&D spend points or whatever to create something, you steal it from the enemy. So if you see an enemy with a gun that you want, you better fucking figure out how to take that shit from them.
Yeah, exactly. So
Um,
it gives you a different approach on how you it gives you a different way to approach enemies.
mhm. So if you want to like swords, guns, I think even different mobility options, you also have to take from your enemies, stuff like that. Again, it's essentially a mech looter shooter, but with all the mechanics of, you're fucking dashing around on the ground, flying through the air, fighting these gigantic fucking stadium sized spider mechs and shit. Like it just all around. I love the aesthetic of it. That's probably the main draw for it. It just looks it just looks so fun. I don't know. I maybe you can't just say looks fun. It looks pretty edgy, to be honest. There's a lot of shades of reds there, but
Yeah,
the color palette for it, it's how would you explain that, Jomel?
it's a very saturated palette.
Yeah.
Like it's not bright or like vibrant, but it's very saturated because of all the reds and it's warm, saturated, and kind of on the edge. Not edgy, but like it's there. You're always going in serious. I guess you'd say.
It's your standard anime edge.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's got that Kamina red rocking it. I guess you'd
Oh
say.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, honestly, the main colors of the game I could just think it off the top of my head is red, black, and white. Like,
Yeah, and white being like the
and
suit, but you can also like color that shit as much as you want as
right,
well.
right. You can be whatever color you want, but that's pretty much what they gave us. But no, that game is looking pretty schwanky. But the new IP that I'm most excited for is one that they're working on with Platinum Games is Astral Chain. So this so not only I think not only is Platinum Games working on it, the same people that made Near
Automata,
Automata are working
Automata.
on Astral Chain. Fucking making me lose train of thought. I don't think Yoko Taro's involved,
I wouldn't think so.
but yeah, I don't think he is. But I know I believe some of his team is, and they're in the same in the same vein that Near did. There's going to be a lot of different gameplay modes in a sense. So, for example, one of the opening, so during their Treehouse Live, they showed like your opening footages of you on your motorcycle, speeding down a underpass, dodging lasers, shooting lasers and shit like that. Not your traditional combat, but then they gave you a pretty good look at how it's going to work. There's obviously a dodge system, and dodge a move, get a brief moment of time to slow down, and get your basic combos. You have like what's called like it's essentially your security baton, but it transforms into a gun. Your basically basic sword. I think probably like other shit, whatever else other weapons you're gonna be able to use.
Right.
Um, the flow of combat looks interesting. Like, how would I say it? I'm not getting to the most unique thing about it yet. I want to just lay the groundwork first. Shit, I keep hitting my goddamn mic. I want to lay the basic concept of it. It feels like a slightly slowed down, like Bayonetta almost.
It's not as flashy as Bayonetta.
It's not as flash as Bayonetta. It's a bit more grounded.
Okay.
So for example, well, no, yeah, just that's the best way to say it. It's a bit more grounded in what you can do as the player. Now, the unique part about the combat system is the fact that you control these, what do they call them? Chimeras, I think. Homunculus. I think it was chimeras. You can control this chimera uh, as you fight. As you're fighting, you get it. There's a gauge and amount of time that you can summon it, but like once it's out on the field, you're essentially controlling both entities, you yourself and your chimera, and you can have it, move around the battlefield, attack certain enemies and stuff. If it takes too much damage, it will go away for a while, but you can bring it back relatively soon. But the main thing that was interested me is like the combo system between you and your chain or whatever. So obviously there's different moves and stuff that you can input to combo with them, but like specifically, you're literally connected to this thing by a chain, and you can use that dynamically against enemies. So if you control your dude to wrap around, like you physically have to wrap around an enemy, they'll become like held in place for a little bit because of your astral train. If something's charging at you, you can move your chimera to the other side of it, and it'll dash into the chain. You can like bounce them back with it, like slingshot them a little bit. I imagine there's a bunch of other stuff you can do. I didn't watch a lot of the Treehouse Live because I don't like to spoil stuff for myself, which is great for when you're trying to report on it.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, definitely.
but it looked unique in the sense that it's essentially a two-player game played by yourself. Now you can actually play it two-player. So the obviously the main person controls their main character, and someone else can control, take the other Joy-Con and control um the fucking Chimera. So if you want to put yourself through that, you can, but from what they said, it's harder to do it that way
Right.
because I don't know, I guess there's peripheral shit. Who knows? But that's one that I'm truly interested in. The main idea of the story behind Astral Chain, I didn't really get too many details on the story of Daemon Ex Machina, but the story behind Astral Chain is that you're a police officer, you and your sibling, um,
Of course.
are police officers in trying to investigate what's going on with the was it the increase in chimeras or danger of chimeras, whatever's going on. Who gives a shit? It looks fucking cool. Story is gonna be interesting. There's gonna be, like I said, a bunch of different gameplay modes. There's gonna be like a LA noir kind of aspect to it too when you're investigating. So you have to question people. Press X to doubt and shit like that
Right. You
to
know what?
try to discover what's going on.
You know what?
Go
Strangely,
on.
this strangely gives off like, I don't know why, but it gives off like a Gantz vibe for some goddamn reason.
Ants? Interesting. Okay.
Gantz. Yeah, I know. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, just by like, just by its setting and also the way you're combating these the Chimera, right?
Hmm.
It just feels like, because I mean you're like a specialized unit to a degree,
Right.
and you're
Right.
just
Right.
like investigating, but at the same time you're also trying to like exterminate the chimeras, right?
Hmm.
So I mean less world ending like Gantz, but it's for some reason the first thing that came up when I saw the images, like, Gantz, really? Okay, like, I don't know, that's my weird ass comparison for this,
Hmm.
but it does look pretty interesting. Looks really cool. It's gonna be available apparently also in this year, this August. So it'll be
Right.
on
Yeah. It's
the
coming out pretty soon, so I'm
it's gonna
super happy about
it's
that.
gonna be on the Switch this August, and I mean once I come, I may have to pick it up just by looking at what I saw so far.
I do not blame you. Unfortunately, I cannot because I don't have a Switch,
Hmm.
but I will soon. Um, but let's see what else. What do I want to talk about? Pokemon. Let's talk about Pokemon. Obviously there was other stuff that Nintendo announced, but those two games that were original IPs are the ones that stuck out to me the most.
Mm.
But the main, I guess, buzz around the Nintendo Direct is about Pokemon and Smash. So in terms of Pokemon, Sword and Shield is coming out when? Do you know, Jomel?
Um, was it November?
I feel
I
like it
feel
was
like
November.
yeah, I feel like it was November. I can't remember off the top of my head. I thought it was November.
Um, well, oh, excuse me. It's coming out soon, and it's the first mainline console Pokemon game in like fucking how long, Jamal? You know? I think the
Um,
last one was like what was that? Pokemon Darkness DX or whatever. That
Probably.
wasn't really like a regular Pokemon game.
Right.
Um, fucking
I mean, can I say one thing though?
yeah, go on.
So obviously, you know, when what's her face? Sonya was debuted, you know,
Yeah.
the artist
Oh
community
yeah.
went wild, and then
Mm-hmm.
they also revealed one of the new gym leaders of Sword and Shield as well. I don't know her name, but
Right.
she's the water
Her
the
name
water
is
gym leader.
Nessa.
Is it Nessa? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had to say this out and about just because for some reason this became a bigger issue than well, I don't think it's a big issue, but for some reason I just kept seeing a bunch of this shit on Twitter as well as like other people that we follow on Twitter and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And this has to do with the involvement of artists are, interpreting Nessa in their own way. I don't know
Yeah.
if you heard I don't know if you heard anything about it, Jarron.
No, I sure did.
Okay, well, um how do I explain it? Can you explain it, Jarron, in a simple way? Because I'm more so
So
concerned about the
Nessa
reaction.
is I guess Nessa is a black character. She's brown skin, black hair, stuff like that. Absolutely gorgeous. Probably one of the best character designs that Pokemon has made to date. Um, and that's well second. I fucking love what's her face. What's her name?
Which generation?
She's the champion from the Honan region from Gen 3. Sybil Sit starts with a C.
Was it C?
She's the blonde one with the Umbreon tails in her hair.
Fuck. Um. Oh God, we don't have anyone to help us out here.
No, no, we don't. Anyway, fuck it. Who cares?
That's okay.
Um, they're probably my favorite. Nessa is either a replacement for my favorite or very close second. Um, I'm not gonna go into details of why, but it's just the detail to her just aesthetic is really cool. Um, but the main I guess, quote unquote problem is that when people draw their fan art, the commoners out there that don't understand how lighting and mood setting work when you're drawing something can lighten skin up, and people get all butthurt about if she's a black character, don't lighten her skin color, when it, like I said, it's literally just brightening because of how a light setting is working within your drawing. However you're trying to fucking angle brightness is causing skin to be causing the hue of the skin to change. Like, who fucking cares? Let them draw.
Right.
Like, I get excuse me. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know how to comment on this
Well,
because
here,
it's like,
let me
yeah,
input
go
here.
on.
So I mean,
Go on.
one of the problems is people like outcrying like, oh, they're not drawing her dark enough, or they're not drawing her with the correct skin tone. That's one of the problems. Just the general outcry of these just loud minority, I guess you'd say, of individuals that
Mm-hmm.
like to ruin people's creativity and blah blah blah, all that good stuff. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that's one problem that's never gonna end up stopping because people are always gonna complain about something, right? Where everyone's a
Right.
critic.
Right. Right. Right.
The one problem I have been seeing, it's also been consistent for some godforsaken reason, is that whenever an artist would put out their work, and and like I said, it's not the appropriate shade of brown, I guess, to these
Mm-hmm.
people. Some of them actually went as far as re-uploading that same artist's work, but making them darker, essentially, and also replying back with a commenting like, "Oh, here you go, I fixed it for you," with this sort of with the audacity of being so smug about they're actually in the wrong, and this is a better and improved version of the work that the artists have made, due to the fact that
Mm-hmm.
the shading was a lot more quote unquote appropriate for their taste.
Right.
That's what I have a problem with, and I saw it a lot more a lot more. I saw it happen a lot more than I felt comfortable, just because
Mm-hmm.
like at this point you're not letting the artists be artists in this point. It's kind of what Jarron said. The way you light up certain characters in terms of like the scenery and how you interpret them in terms of the subject of what they're trying to pull off.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be a cookie cutter kind of image you'll get. There's gonna be some variation. There's gonna be some artistic liberties done
Mm-hmm.
on all fan art. You know,
Right.
and that's what I had a problem with. I just had to like say it just because it was bothering me because as a creator myself or like an artist like anybody else out there, you know, for for one, it's one thing to criticize someone else's work. Yeah, sure, go ahead, go fucking say whatever you want about them, but to have the audacity to like take that person's art and re-upload it to your quote unquote standard, that's some level of ignorance that I can't like
Mm-hmm.
approve of, especially in a human decency sense. Generally, I don't know. It's just rude.
Right.
I just completely think it's completely rude to the artist, to the interpretation of that artist's well, the image of that, and because of
Mm-hmm.
that, I saw a couple of tweets saying that like it wasn't even done to them, but because of how much outcry there was, I saw an artist re-upload. Oh, they retweeted something about like, oh, turns out that my interpretation of Nessa was not of appropriate to a lot of the people here. So I'll re-upload with the proper interpretation of what you guys want. And these are Japanese artists that are trying to like do what they do best and just draw or just interpret characters as they see fit.
Mm-hmm.
This is that kind of uh what is it? Horde mentality that plagues this side of like the fandom, I guess you'd say, or any kind of fandom
Mm-hmm.
in general, where
Right.
the fact that an artist can't like artistically interpret a character and is like completely dogged by like a loud minority of people. That's absurd, and I feel like that it's just not right for us as the consumers of such beautiful works of art
Mm-hmm.
to completely how do you say um just dictate the way artists should be artists. They don't make
Mm-hmm.
it. They don't make it just for our whims, but they make the art. They provide the art so that we can enjoy it and we can also see their interpretation of the characters or interpretation of whatever theme they're going with. And it's yeah, we're there to judge and all that, but it's not right for us to like say, oh, that's wrong or that's not how it should be. Blah 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 this, blah 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 that. We're not here to dictate what their art should be in this
Mm-hmm.
case. Now, this is my mini rant of that because I just got completely annoyed by it's not even just me. A lot of big any tubers are also calling all those people out saying that these are artists and they shouldn't have to be dictated by a small a loud minority of individuals just because they don't happen to like the 2% shade of the Nessa interpretation that they drew at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just sad. It's honestly just sad, and it's rough to like watch these artists go through that. I mean, granted, there's still a lot of fans that enjoy their art as well, but because a lot of those people are a lot more louder on social media, it's not always
Mm-hmm.
so prevalent.
Right.
So I just had to call you guys out, and I just want to say, calm the fuck down. It's just a drawing, and it's just that. But if you don't like it, don't be a dick and just say, "Oh, no, here you go, I fix it for you," because I'm fucking right, like every other 5 year old out there, because
Mm-hmm.
that was my rant. I don't know. I don't know if you wanted input, add any more to it, if depending on what you know and what you've seen.
I mean, I certainly look. We make lighter skinned characters dark skin all the time. So I mean, it goes to say that we'll see some characters that are dark skinned be have white skin or whatever skin, and we need to understand that not everything is racially charged. Sometimes we just want to see what something looks like with a different skin tone. Like, let's allow art to be what it is. It's however you interpret it, sure, but like, it's racially charged should not be always be the very first fucking thing. Like, come on now. Why? I don't know. We just need to. We really need to chill that out. Like you said. Like, let's be critical, not emotional.
Yes, definitely.
But anyway, thank you for bringing that up. I was gonna try to touch on it a little bit
Yeah,
because there is quite a bit of controversy surrounding Pokemon Sword and Shield. Outside of that,
yeah. So I'll let you
this
take over
is
from here.
yeah, this is gonna be the first Pokemon game in. Well, I guess I don't. Let's go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. Doesn't really count. First mainline Pokemon game to not have all 1,000 whatever the hell Pokemon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what generation are they missing then?
That's a good question. It seems like the Pokemon are being kind. I mean, I don't know if they're selected at random, but Game Freak's like hand picking what's going in.
Hmm.
So obviously, all the new Pokemon are going to be there. Some newer ones. I think. I mean, I've seen some memes, so I don't think like Rayquaza's going to be in there. I don't know if certain like just certain ones aren't gonna be there, and you have no way to transfer them in. They say it's because of animation restrictions and how much time it would take to give them all animations. Like, yeah, I get it, it would take a lot of time, but
Like
like
hardware
you're also
issues.
hardware issues, but like you're also porting it from the fucking 3DS, most of the animations and stuff. So what the hell are you talking about? But Um, the other issue is being able to balance them all, which I get. Trying to balance over 1,000 different fucking Pokemon is a daunting task to say the least. So I get it, but I don't know. I don't like what is it? I don't like um I don't like the fact that they're not gonna have them all because it's like okay, so you can say it's for the sake of balancing, but like the game was never very well balanced in the first place. So why even bother with trying to um why even bother with trying to balance it? Just let it be unbalanced. The players will fucking figure it out. We'll be fine. Like our only complaint isn't that the game's unbalanced. Our complaint is that the Pokemon aren't there. Just put them in. We'll worry about balancing. We got that. So I don't know. I just don't like that. I don't like that they're not being there. People have the right to complain about this because this is just a bad show. And also, it doesn't Sword and Shield doesn't look great. It doesn't look like it was made for the Switch. It looks like it was made for the 3DS, and then, like I said, just ported over to the Switch. Or it was made for the 3DS and then just poured it to the Switch without touching up much of anything.
Right.
So I don't know if Sword and Shield's going to do very well um, on the market. It's probably, I mean, you could argue that Pokemon sales have been dwindling lately, but I think they're going to take a really big hit with this one. Which fucking sucks because I was thoroughly interested in fucking playing as it. But no, they don't fucking want to put all the Pokemon in, so I don't know about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, I mean, they're adding. They also got rid of all mega evolutions and Z moves, which is fine because that was only helping unbalance the game. But they added in a new thing called Dynamaxing, where you just make your Pokemon gigantic to
Yeah.
fight other Dynamaxed Pokemon. And it's a new idea. I'm fine with it. That's how they want to do their raids. So you like five people or what was it? Four people fight Dynamaxed Pokemon. And everyone decides per turn or whatever how it works. Who's gonna Dynamax the Pokemon to best fight against? Best fight against the raid Pokemon, whatever you want to call it, Dynamax raids. So you kind of go in rotation ish. So I do like that idea. While you're out in the wilderness, so when you're not in town or in, I guess, in a main area, you're out in the open world, quote unquote. And if you're connected to the internet, you can see other players walking by and stuff and trade with them and chat with them and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. The implementation of the online stuff looks interesting, but I don't know. The things that they're adding into the game look interesting, and I think would have been are great. But the things that are taken away just kind of stabs the game in the gut. I don't know how long it's gonna last. People are gonna play it because people like Pokemon, but I don't know. It doesn't. I don't have too much hope for it. Maybe enough just to see Nessa, but outside of that, I don't know. But I'll tell you what is looking good. Smash Ultimate,
Oh yes.
baby. I mean, nothing terribly big. Oh, it is big. So we got two fighter reveals for Smash in the last E3, which no one ever expected. The first one we kind of saw coming, or some people speculated was going to happen. We got the Dragon Quest heroes from fuck, here we go. 8, 11, 5, and 2, I think. Or it's either fuck, I don't know. You're getting a bunch of Dragon Quest heroes from the Dragon Quest games line, and they're bringing with them, they're, I guess, another anime swordsman, but they have a unique magic system where you actually get to select what spell you cast. So let's say, I don't know what button it's mapped to. It's probably B, but you can fucking throw like a sleep spell. You can cast a defense spell, a reflect spell, shit like that, and you have like an actual mana pool that you have to manage. So they look pretty cool. Their moveset, it's yet to be seen because you only get a taste from the their regular smash attacks and tilts and stuff like that. But they are all around looking like a solid class and a welcome addition because it's, again, while they are another anime swordsman, their magic system does make them unique enough to stand out. Now, the second reveal at the end of the presentation was for motherfucking Banjo and Kazooie. The rare boys are here. The rare boys are here. Fucking no, I don't think outside of the basics baseless speculation, anyone saw Banjo Kazooie coming to Smash. No one even thought it possible. And I mean, it wasn't until Microsoft said, "Yeah, we'll play nice." I am extremely happy. The Banjo and Kazooie look great. They're a welcome addition. Fucking welcome home to where you belong.
Honestly.
Right there next to your brothers in Donkey Kong.
So at this point now, since they revealed two, that means you only have one left then for the fighter pass.
Right. I don't know if Piranha Plant counts.
You sure?
Because after, see, if it does count, then you're right. Then we have one. But if he doesn't count, then we have Joker, the heroes, Banjo Kazooie, and then two more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Piranha Plant counts because that was a pre-order bonus.
Okay.
So, yet again, Sakurai's proving that we know nothing and we have no idea who could end up in fucking Smash. So sorry, once again, keep hitting this goddamn thing.
Right. By the way, you're right. Yeah, you are right. Piranha
What?
Plant doesn't count. It's Joker. Yeah, Joker was the first one, and then it's the hero, then Banjo. So we have two more.
Right.
So
So
it,
it could be Minecraft Steve. Who knows?
oh god, it could be Sakurai himself at this point,
I kind of hope so. That would be amazing.
or Reggie.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Well, at this point, they're either gonna do like a two for one again, or they might just go one at a time at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll have to see. So when are they releasing though? By the way, when's the hero and Banjo supposed to be?
They didn't.
Live?
They haven't announced that. They
Oh really? Oh
said
okay.
they're coming out. Cool. When they're coming out.
I don't know. I feel
All
like
right.
you think is it gonna be at least this year, or is it gonna be like a first quarter thing, 2020?
I would say maybe the heroes are coming out closer to the end of the year. Maybe Banjo's definitely coming out next year.
Oh okay. Well, I don't mind, but it's good that they announced the next ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I honestly can't wait to see where we go with our fucking our additions to Smash because it's like I said, we who knows who knows what's gonna happen.
Right.
Like I can't even come like I want to make a prediction, but I don't think I have the I can't narrow it down to anything. Like
There's no
I'm thinking
pattern
maybe
because there's obviously no pattern.
right. There's no pattern. I think Waluigi is an actual contender because Sakurai
Okay.
or well see here's why. Now I know he's an assist trophy, obviously.
Right.
Um, but we've heard from the official Smash Twitter, Smash Bros Twitter or Sakurai's Twitter or whatever, that they're well aware that people really want Waluigi to be a Smash character because again, he has shown up in every or the vast majority of all the sports games, Mario sports games and party games.
True. I mean, even
In
Wario
fact,
got
he has only shown up in those.
right.
So,
Yeah, technically, it wouldn't make sense to just have Wario.
right. So I don't know how they would. Well, honestly, I don't. Maybe they just wouldn't care because fucking Crom got put in the game and he's still in Robin's final smash. So who gives a shit? Just
Yeah,
put him in with his fucking trophy.
right.
So we'll see.
I'll see. It's not a bad. It's not. That's not a bad prediction right there. It could honestly
Mhm.
just go either way at this point, but that doesn't leave a lot. That doesn't leave everything. No, that still leaves a lot to interpret since you know there's no I feel like there's no restrictions at this point when it comes to what could possibly what could possibly go on. So there's obviously been no pattern, so you can't necessarily track or predict on how these things will happen. Anything goes at this point.
Right. But I think that's a good thing.
It is, yes. Is that it, or is there more? Or I can't remember.
No. After that, Nintendo was the last one. Again, there was all the additional like, uh, there's all the additional coverage of like gameplay after the press conferences, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch a lot of all that because again, I don't like to spoil myself, which is again bad for trying to tell people about them.
Yeah, you can't necessarily give the reactionary input, but in a consumer input, I guess you'd say,
right,
it's appropriate. But we're not really the most reliable of sources for that kind of stuff. We are a bunch of wannabes, aren't we?
Right, that's right.
Exactly. So, but we have been going on for a little bit. This has been I mean, E3's always been a long discussion in general. So,
oh yeah,
if you guys are still here, thanks for keeping up with us. Things have been pretty eventful. At this point, yeah. I mean, I forgot how to end these things again. But as always, we've been going on for a little bit. We've been going on for quite a while. I just said that. Do catch me though at Anime Midwest. For those of you who are coming out of town or are in the Chicagoland area and are going to Anime Midwest, I will be out there for one day only though, probably a Saturday most likely, since I can only get those off now. I'm gonna be doing a little bit more of those. I'm gonna try my I'm gonna try my hand again at a cosplay music video. So if you don't really know who I am or what I look like, I'll probably be walking around in a Shield Hero cosplay with a camera. So definitely try to catch me there if you like me to. If you like to meet me, maybe not. I don't know. I don't.
Fuck them right in the butt.
Yes, of course, exactly. Other than that, as always, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading us. We're still trying to get up there to our download mark. Slowly but surely, we will get there. But as always, guys, my name is Jomel Socorro.
My name is Jarron Gaddis.
And we are the Wannabe Boo Podcast, bringing you the latest and greatest game and anime news, reviews, and waifus for life.
Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll talk to you next time. Matane!